And welcome back to another CBB Talk, the annual fix of the computer. The start. We're here. Wow, what a day. Or what a night, I guess, last night was in the sport of college basketball. The first day of college sports, where basketball is finally the main sport. And it delivered. The top two teams in the nation in the AP poll fell last night with road losses to unranked opponents. So let's talk about it. Let's start off with that game in Iowa. Houston falls to Iowa State in I wouldn't call it a shocker, but I would call it an unexpected result, to say the least. I did say on last week's episode, I wish I could roll the tape, but I'm just not that good. If Houston wins this game, I would move them to number 2. I said that, but they didn't. They didn't lose the game. They didn't win the game. Ended up losing only 53-57 there in a pretty low-scoring grind game. Iowa State got off to an amazing start. They were up 14-0 to start the game there. Houston battles back, was down 10 at half. They play a good second half of basketball there, but they can never pull it in. LJ Cryer, 5 points. You're not going to win games when you're supposed the best player has 5 points total. They're only 5 points off the bench for them. And then Iowa State, they're a good defensive team, a tournament caliber team. They're just outside my top 25. I want to put them in, but this was their first really great win of the year, or a good win, matter of fact. And this is a good one to get at home in the Big 12 there. Coming off a loss, didn't want to lose 2 in a row. Coming off a loss this weekend against Oklahoma, they get it going there. Talon Lipsey's one of the best guards in the Big 12. Underrated player, just a sophomore. 14 in this one. Momklivovich, who hit the game-winning shot, the turnaround jumper baseline. He can really score the ball there. And Iowa State only hit 3 threes the whole game, which just shows how good their defense is. Houston hit 7 threes. Emmanuel Sharp had 5 of them. He was just really the only player that came to play for Houston in this one. It's a great win for Iowa State. Houston, look, I dropped Houston to number 6 in the country, down 4 spots. Just because, look, they have some decent wins and they're lacking a great win. And so we'll see if they can get it. Again, the Big 12 is going to be something different for them, and I want to see how they can start. They've started Big 12 play 1-on-1. I want to see how they can continue it in their first year. And I know Kelvin Sampson's going to use this as motivation. Uses it as an example that they have to play good basketball night in and night out. Maybe something that they weren't doing earlier in the year. But a very good win for Iowa State. It's a line improvement win. It's something that you can't take lightly. Is wins against an undefeated team. There's now no undefeated teams left. And then just getting a really good home win against a very, very good team. Trust me, they're gonna use that as momentum to continue in the Big 12 play. Maybe Iowa State can be a player in there. But yeah, Houston, I'm not totally worried about Houston, but look, not the game you want there. If you just had an average offensive game, you win it. Get off to a better start, you probably win. I moved Houston down a little bit, and Iowa State, you're close to my top 25, but I just couldn't put them in there. The second one was the number 1 team in the nation falling in a shocker. This is in Nebraska in Pinnacle Bank. A big win for the Cornhuskers, the biggest win probably of the Fred Hoiberg era there in Lincoln. Nebraska 88, Purdue 72, and an upset win there. Purdue drops its second game of the year, their second game in the Big Ten. Both have lost road games there. Purdue hit 10 threes. They shot the ball fairly decent there, but Nebraska was unconscious from the 3-point line there, and that was really the difference there. Tomiyaga, he's one of the best guards in the Big Ten there. A guy who was a good player last year has really elevated his game. 19 this one, 5 threes. Mass had 18. The big man there played very well. Wiltshire off the bench, 3 threes. Look, Nebraska is a team that I think can make the tournament there. I'm not having them in my top 25 because they've had some iffy losses, but a very good win for the Cornhuskers. Look, this is a win where if you look back at the end of the year and they're on that bubble and you see they can beat a Purdue team who will most likely be a 1-2 seed in this NCAA tournament, that's going to be huge for them. Purdue, again, they're not a strong road team, And it shows Zach Edey struggle. Only 10 shot attempts for Edey, 15 points there. Fletcher Lawyer, 13. Braden Smith, 13. Mason Gill, 16. But no one just had a stud performance there. And look, Nebraska was unconscious, and you can't do much about it. But Purdue was down 11.5. They got it close. Nebraska pulled away at the end, hit their free throws, played very, very well. And that's a hostile environment. Nebraska basketball could be back here. And really, in my lifetime, since I can remember, Nebraska has not been a good basketball school, or really just a good athletic school, especially in football and basketball. But a really good win for Nebraska here. I only dropped Purdue number 3 in the nation. Look, because their wins are undeniable. They're such a good team there. But that means the new number 1 is the Kansas Jayhawks. Their resume is unmatched. Wins against Tennessee on the neutral, wins against UConn at home, and a win against Kentucky on the neutral. They're the number 1 team in the nation. But my number 2 team is the Kentucky Wildcats. I know Kansas beat them. They do have a loss to Wilmington, but they have good wins over UNC. They look dominant. Their freshmen are finally got into their own there. They look like they have a solid rotation. I'm a big Kentucky believer. I have been for these last couple weeks. So yeah, maybe it's egregious to have them at 2, but I don't care. I think Kentucky basketball is fully back. And Purdue, I'm sure they're going to be good. I love the jokes, though. Purdue's looking at postseason form. Zach Edey should be working at McDonald's. Look, I'm not a Purdue fan. I think you guys know that. Some could say a Purdue hater. It's funny to see them lose these games, but I think Purdue's going to be fine. They're going to win the Big Ten, but they are 2 games back. Wisconsin, big game tonight. If Wisconsin wins this, they'll be 4-0. Purdue will be 2-2. It's going to be interesting in Big Ten race there. But again, not totally worried about Purdue. They've lost these games in the past, and they've turned out well in the regular season. But again, it's all about Purdue in the tournament. And look, they're gonna have to prove them this year, which that's in the future. But right now, I'm not too worried about Purdue. They just got unlucky going against a red hot Nebraska team, and Nebraska, big win for them. That could be a turning point in their season for a tournament run. Some other good games were, of course, Kentucky. They easily beat Missouri at home there. Rob Dillingham, 23 off the bench there. What can I say? This Kentucky team is rolling. 2 losses on the year to Kansas on neutral. Wilmington, if they didn't lose to Wilmington, I'm pretty sure they'd be the consensus 2 team in the country. But look, that loss happened. But as the season goes on, they're only going to get better, and that's what they're doing. Kansas State, good a road win. Kansas State, maybe they can be a back-end tournament team this year. Texas gives Cincinnati the first loss in Big 12 play there with a Max Asmus game-winning basket. But the real story was Dylan Dussault. Since he's came back from injury, Texas has been better. He had 33 tonight, or last night, sorry, on the road. And Cincinnati, look, not expected to be a tournament team. They got on my radar with a win against BYU over the weekend. But they might just come back to earth there. Texas needed a win. They're still ranked in the AP poll, which they probably shouldn't. I don't have them ranked after this win, but look, if you're Texas, these are wins you're just gonna have to get. If you wanna, Texas will be a tournament team. I'm 90% confident on that. But if they want to get back to what Texas was last year in these last couple of years, they're going to have to win more games there. But a very good win. Cincinnati was a team I consider, but not anymore. But good win for the Longhorns there. Moved to 12-3. Same for Cincinnati. Look, I'm guessing around 7 Big 12 teams will make it this year. 7, 8 Big 12 teams, and maybe Cincinnati's not one of them. But we'll see. But you don't want to lose home games in the Big 12. That is for sure. Wake Forest, a team I was giving so much credit to, loses one to Florida State. It's tough. Hildreth did have 25 there, but Florida State controlled most of this game. Close game at half, and then Florida State hits their free throws, wins this game there. Look, Wake Forest, look, they're going to be a fringe tournament team this year. I'm saying ACC probably gets 6 teams in the tournament this year, maybe 7 if they're lucky. Wake's going to be on that back end. But these are losses you don't want to take because we've seen these last couple of years. Wake Forest has barely missed the tournament here. And a loss like this, it's probably a quad 2 loss, I'm assuming. I don't think it's quad one, even though it's on the road, which isn't killer. But you want to get these wins there. You were in my rankings. I had to drop you out. And you've been replaced with the team about talked about, Texas Tech. Anything else on Wake Forest? Not really. Florida State, they're not a tournament team this year, but a good win for them. Not too concerned about Wake, but you wanna get these games where you're playing not top ACC opponents, even if it's on the road. You want to win there. But that's not a killer loss there. It's not a quad three or anything like that, but not amazing. Yeah, Texas Tech, I replaced them in the top 25. Grant McCaslin's led this team so far to an amazing start. They're 13-2, finally getting good wins there. Easy home win against a bad Oklahoma State team, sure, but Isaac's 24 in this one, and this is not a traditional Texas Tech a North Texas Grant McCaslin team. This team is really good offensively. Scored 90 in this one. I think Texas Tech's really good. I think they're underrated. I moved them into 24th in my rankings there. I like that. I like what the Red Raiders are doing so far. 2-0 in Big 12 play. Keep this train going. Win easy games. Win these games, every Big 12 team. Win home games against Oklahoma State. Win home games against West Virginia. Win the games you're supposed to, and then you got to find games on the road somehow. And Texas Tech hopefully can do that this year. And last year was a down year, missing the tournament. I think this year they can get back to that level and be a tournament team under the first-year coach Grant McCasler, who's done an amazing job. The only ranked on ranked matchup last night was BYU and Baylor. Baylor ends up getting a big win there, 9 points. They're down 6 at half. BYU came out shooting that rock, what they always do, but Baylor stays the ship, wins a big home game there in Big 12 play. BYU moves to 0-2 in Big 12. They were on my fraudulent list. And they're now out of my rankings this week. Oh, they were already out of my rankings, but now, they're going to have to do way more work to get back in. Baylor, they're the best three-point shooting team in basketball percentage-wise. And Jalen Bridges had a big one this one, 25 points there. Took some. It looks like he almost went down a little banged up. He got back, played really well this game, hit his threes, drove to the basket confidently. He's an experienced player, and he's taken a bigger role this year. And freshman Jacoby Walters is so amazing. Langston Love played good. I expected him to take a bigger jump this year, and so far he has. I like this BYU team. Look, they have a great win over Auburn, and now they're 2-0 in Big 12 play. They're trending in the right direction since their loss against Duke. I got Baylor ranked 13th in the nation here, and they're going to be staying in the Big 12. I'm very confident in. And then their new arena, it looks good. But a little weird on TV with that camera angle. They got to improve that. It's like Oklahoma State, and I don't like that high-end camera angle. Colorado State, man. My Colorado State Rams, who I was proclaiming are a really good team, dropped our second straight. This one's at Boise State, so they've lost 2 games in a row, which aren't bad losses per se. But this is one you want to win. I think Boise State could end up being a tournament team this year. I think the Mountain West can get 5 teams in this tournament there. Boise State, New Mexico. New Mexico lost one last night to UNLV. They're going to be competing for it. Colorado State, 58 points there. Just bad first half, 21 points. Isaiah Stevens had 17 this one. But look, this Boise State team made a tournament last year. They're a good team. Got off to a slow start, but they haven't lost since middle of November. So they're red hot. And again, winning home games in the Mountain West, much needed there. Boise State's helping their chance to get in. I still have Colorado State ranked at 25 because, look, they did so much good in the non-con. I have to respect it, but they're on a little skid right now. They need to pick it up there as the weeks go on. I'm not sure. Let's look at their upcoming schedule and see, are they going to be in – their next game is at Air Force. So they don't play this weekend. They play they play home against Air Force, home against UNLV before going at Nevada. So try to get 2 wins, get some good momentum going until you have a tough game against the Wolfpack of Nevada, who I do have ranked. They are playing really, really good basketball there. Alabama, I think Alabama's back. South Carolina takes their second loss. They lost by damn near 30 there. So maybe South Carolina was frauds. But Alabama, they're starting to win games. That was just their problem. They were playing good and losing. And if they can start playing good and winning, their season's going to turn around. We see their net rating be so high. I'm sure they're going to steady the ship this year. Duke had a blowout win against Pitt. Duke handled business. I love how my preseason #1 is trending in the right direction there. Yeah, Nevada got easy win over Air Force. New Mexico upset loss at UNLV, and San Diego State barely held on against San Jose State, but a win's a win for the Aztecs, as I got them ranked the highest out of all the Mountain West teams. Let's take a look at today, because today has some really good games. I'm going to give you my quick thoughts on them. Don't want this to be too long of an episode tonight, or because I want you to watch this before the games come out. Northwestern road game against Penn State should be easy. Penn State's not that good of a team. Northwestern don't want to lose these games if you want to make a tournament team. Providence at St. John's. St. John's 7-point favorites. One of these teams, St. John's trending in the right direction. Providence not. St. John's wins this game. Really going to be looking really on the radar for me and building a tournament resume, which is really good to see from Rick Pitino's team. Tied for first in the Big East. Clemson's on the road at Va-Tech. Virginia Tech's not that great of a team. They're average, but they're of a great home court advantage there. Clemson's lost 2 in a row. You don't want to make this skid a streak, and they're in big danger of it. Let's see if they can steady the ship here, get a really good road win there. They're only 2-point favorites. Want to see Clemson win this. If not, they will be out of my top 25. Kansas on the road against UCF. This is the first conference matchup between the two. UCF looking for their first Big 12 win, the first Big 12 game at home. I expect Kansas to win this. Could be tight, but I think Kansas will win it. Let's see. Tennessee's on the road against a good Mississippi State team. Mississippi State coming off a loss against South Carolina, but this one's at home in Starkville. Tennessee, I think you're legit. I think you're really, really good. Would I move Tennessee up to 5th in the nation? Tennessee's up to 5th in the nation here. They're 5th in the AP poll, 5th in my poll. This is going to be a really good game. I think I believe in this Tennessee team more than most teams that Rick Barnes has had. This team is good offensively now. I'm going to pick them to win. Tolu Smith is back from Mississippi State. If they want to turn the ship around too and make an NCAA tournament, they're going to have to start winning these games. This is a huge resume boosting win if Mississippi State can pull it off. But give me the Volunteers to win this one. I'm not confidently saying that, but I've had belief in Tennessee now for the last couple weeks. I'm going to keep that belief going. Indiana State's at Drake, really good. Best 2 teams in the MVC. Drake coming off a loss. I think they should win this game, though, at home. But Indiana State's a legit team. They've only lost to big programs. So that's going to be a good one in the MVC. If you just keep your eye on it. I don't know if it's on TV at all, but just keep your eye on this one. Indiana State Drake, battle of the 2 best in the MVC. UConn goes on the road against Xavier. Not easy to win on the road, the Big East, so keep an eye on that. Wisconsin's at Ohio State, really good game. Ohio State, gosh, coming off a loss. Wisconsin, first in the Big Ten right now. They're undefeated. This would be a huge game for Wisconsin, man. I think Wisconsin's legit. I was hesitant early. I think this team's legit now. They got good bigs, and their guard plays coming on. AJ Store's a beast. But I do think Ohio State's a good team. They're better than last year. They're a tournament team at home, a game they should win. Give me Ohio State to win this at home. It's just so important to win home games. Red Hot Georgia playing against Arkansas. Watch out for the Bulldogs. 1-9 in a row. They haven't lost since November. Arkansas's on a downward spiral. I think Georgia can win that game. And then Florida's at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I think Ole Miss is not good. I take that back. They're good, not great. Florida really impressed me against Kentucky, even though they lost. On the road, though, let's see if Chris Beard can get his first SEC win of the year. That should be a good one. And then really the other good one, Oklahoma at TCU. TCU's 5-point favorites in this one. TCU coming off a close loss there to Kansas. I think it's a good matchup. I think Oklahoma can pull off an upset though. They're coming off a good one against Iowa State. But going on the road, not easy in Big 12. There wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, the favorite is TCU in that one by 5. I think that's a little much. But again, Oklahoma's a very, very good team. And then Thursday, FAU's at Tulane. Hopefully FAU doesn't lose another game. Like, geez. I still have them ranked because I believe in FAU. Because their wins are undeniable, but at this point, maybe not. Michigan State's at Illinois. Illinois, prove me right. I have you ranked eighth still in the nation. Michigan State coming off a loss to Northwestern, a weird one there. Tyson Walker's been so good, but besides that, that team just is so inconsistent. If they can get a road win in Champaign, that would give me confidence in Michigan State going forward because I think they will be ended up being a tournament team, but you don't want to be a last four in caliber team that they were a couple years ago. Let's see. Gonzaga goes on the road against a decent Santa Clara team. They should be able to pull that one out. And that's really it. So yeah, there's a lot of good games tonight. Again, no ranked on ranked matchups so that, you'll see the average person will see and say, oh, that's a good game. But there's a lot of good ones, a lot of impact that could happen. So my top three of the night, I'll give you my top three real quick. Let me just look through and remember my top three. Oh my God, I missed this one game was obvious the top three. UNC at NC State. I mean, for me, in my neck of the woods, huge ball game here. I'm a huge Carolina believer this year, and I hate to say it. Like I don't really I don't like either. I'm not either a Carolina or NC State fan, but I'm a huge believer in Carolina this year. And NC State, I went to one of their games. I think they're a fine team. DJ Burns is a good player. DJ Horn, good guy, good player. They have talent, but I think North Carolina is just better. But again, North Carolina struggled in recent years on the road against NC State. It lost last year. But this UNC team's a different team than last year. I think they'll win that game. But I'm going to put that one in my top three. This is no order, but that's a top three game. I like Wisconsin at Ohio State being a top three game. And then give me. Let me look. Bad podcasting on my behalf. Oklahoma at TCU. Those are my top three games. They're all at 8 or later, which sucks. And I guess the best early game would be Tennessee at Mississippi State. So those are my top three games. Some really good ones tonight. No ranked on ranks, but big impact. Bax, you want to say bye? Bax, you want to say bye? Okay. Well, peace out from me and Baxter. And big changes will happen on Friday's episode as we preview the weekend. See you then.